I'm on Facebook and I'm reading a story in Brooklyn, New York. They made a statue of Notorious B.I.G., real name Christopher Wallace. They made a statue commemorating his life and put it on display in the area of Brooklyn where he's from. Why is it that a certain segment of the population of the United States tends to put up statues, hero worshiping people that shouldn't be considered heroes? There's like statues and murals, and these people are held in very high regard, and that's not a good thing. I'm not saying that Notorious B.I.G. was a bad person, but he did rap about selling drugs and disrespecting women and murder. He may not have done it in the style that the kids today do it, but he definitely did do it. And I'm thinking to myself, I said, is that really, because I don't have any kids, so maybe I don't really have much to say, but me personally, if I had a child and I lived in a neighborhood, I would not want my child to look at this statue of a dead rapper that's been dead for 25 years now. I would not want him or her to look up to this person and or aspire to be anything like that person. There's certain people that are, role models. Some people consider them heroes. Notorious B.I.G., not one of them. I don't believe he's a good role model. I don't think kids, whatever race they are, should aspire to be anything like the culture of thuggery. Even though Hollywood does glamorize it, we've glamorized it in the 30s, starting with Al Capone, and we are continuing to do it today with insert whatever gangster rapper your kids listen to or that you listen to. I know that people might look at a certain gangster from the past and think it was a glamorous lifestyle. For instance, Bonnie and Clyde, right? This is kind of the same thing. This is like putting up a statue of Bonnie and Clyde in Dallas. Like, no, these people were fucking killers, and they murdered almost 10 people. They probably might even murdered more than that. We are a very partly weird culture and society where we are looking at these people. For instance, George Floyd. Now, was it screwed up what happened to him? No, of course. I don't care if you are on the side of the fence that says he deserved it. It is a tough video to look at. It is a tough video to look at. I'm not saying it was his fault what happened to him, but he did have a hand in his own demise. That's just my personal opinion. But when you start putting up statues of George Floyd, and then you got Notorious B.I.G., even Tupac. I mean, and I loved Tupac when I was a kid, but I mean, he glamorized that kind of life too. These are not people that should be worshipped. And I'm not just saying that to anybody out there who might be black. This is for everybody. It is one thing as an adult to watch movies about the mafia, about whatever, hip-hop, anything. It doesn't matter. This is all encompassing. It's one thing as an adult to look at it and say, like, wow, it's kind of crazy. Pretty Boy Floyd and the Barker gang going around committing bank robberies and kidnappings and murders. Yeah, it's interesting because most of us don't live that kind of lifestyle. But it's one thing to make movies about it and music, but I don't know, just immortalizing somebody with a statue, kind of like they're a Rosa Parks. Now, I wouldn't have a problem, of course not, if there was a statue of Martin Luther King, if there was a statue of Malcolm X, Rosa Parks, Medgar Evers, you know, people that actually contributed to the advancement of black folks in their generation and the future generations before. And I think a lot of times we lose sight of what actually is important in terms of wanting to aspire to and be like. And again, this isn't for black folks really, because there's going to be kids in that neighborhood that are looking at this dude statue. That there's going to be Dominican kids, Puerto Ricans, I imagine Asians, different races of kids. But I don't know, do you really want your children, do you really want to live in a neighborhood where there's a Notorious B.I.G. statue? I mean, you really got to think about it. And if you don't have a problem with it, it's because you're fucking ghetto. So this message is going to go in one ear and out the other. But for the rest of the people out there that are not ghetto, that are not hood, that have some common sense, you really got to think about it. Is that a good idea? Is it a good idea to be putting up statues of Tupac Shakur, George Floyd, Notorious B.I.G.? I can't really think about any other people on that side of it, culturally speaking, that people would put a statue of. But I don't know, I just thought it was weird. Notorious B.I.G. statues, like, what the fuck? I don't know, maybe I didn't explain my message well enough. I have no idea.